You smell that? You smell that? You smell that? Yeah, you smell that. Yeah, you smell that. I smell shit. I smell shit. Yeah, what's this weak shit? Let me call it out by name. Sit back and sip some tea. I'm exposing all the game. From the news that they buried and the lies they inflate. All the drama in the streets to the back chats and debates. What's my name? Who am I? Let me tell you who I be. It's your girl Amira, but you can call me Woman King. Now let's get right into the topic. Some might even blow your mind. About to stimulate your brain and even shift your paradigm. New week.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to this week's episode of This Week's Shit, where me, your host Amira, and my friend Sunday and Mike, who is on his way. He's not here yet. He's walking his dog, y'all. So, but he'll be here, and we are going to be talking about This Week's Shit, where we go over the last 7 days of random topics that catch our attention that we come and bring here to you guys and talk with y'all about it. This week, we also have the infamous DMG, who will be joining us for this week's topic. That will be Black Love Restored, a research-based rebuttal to misogynoir and the myth that Black men do not need Black women. So that is something that we are going to be discussing with him tonight. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's always a really good conversation when he's around. Shout out to the chat, Deadly Sin 313. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to Lioness Per 1074. It's good to see y'all in the chat. So Sunday, what's going on? DMG, what's up, y'all?
Hey. What's going on?
Yeah, so ain't nothing, child. So we're gonna get around hopefully what I was trying to decide right before we got up here is if we were just gonna jump right into what DMG has. He said he has a presentation for us. Or if you want to just go ahead and hit a couple of the things that caught our attention this week that we had chopped up, that we had picked out. What you think, Sunday?
I mean, either way, I'm interested in this presentation, though.
I know. I was like, maybe we'll get let me see. What do we have? I know. I'm like, I want to get to the meat.
Y'all gotta talk about Worldview Wars Debate League.
Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you for giving me permission, because I was like, scrap this list. There was some big news that we got. If there was no other shit that came out in the last 7 days, the biggest shit that hit the fan was this separation between the Versus Series Debate League and then the birth of the Worldview Wars Debate League, right? And that is really cool. Like, I saw some fire, you got up there and was telling us about it, like the direction that you want to go in. Tell us a little bit more about that, DMG.
Well, again, like I tell people, I'm gonna repeat it here. It was nothing personal, with me and the brothers. They actually are gonna be around in the new league in more of a organizational and administrative sense.
Okay.
It was just time to kind of recalibrate and restore some of the order to the debates, and it kind of got a little out of control, got associated with some of the things and elements and people in the back chats that I do not want to be associated with. I ain't gotta say no names or nothing to that effect, but I think it just became too ingrained in that world, and I kind of wanted to pivot away from that. It's always going to be a loose association because a lot of the debaters frequent those spaces, but I'm trying to put a clear line of demarcation between what I'm doing and what's happening in the back chats. That's why it has its own channel. Y'all go over there and subscribe to Worldview Wars Debate League. Yes. It's completely its own thing. We're still doing some of the same things. You still got a 3-minute opening, a 3-minute closing. Instead of 2 10-minute rounds, it's 2 12-minute rounds. Instead of a 10-minute chin check, it's a 12-minute chin check.
Oh, wow.
So title matches are still going to be 15-minute rounds. Everything else will be the same. It's going to be a little easy on my pockets because I'm only paying for the pay-per-view event. So if we have a members-only situation, or if we do the pay-per-view event on Patreon where I actually sell tickets, that's where the payment tiers will come in. I'm not paying people for every...
Just random debates to get up, and then just because somebody wanted to debate, you're paying them money for it.
And I will say this, I still firmly believe that what debaters do need to be compensated. I feel like if we some funding that's separate from what DMG has to bring into his household, then we'll get that back to where, standard debates are $70. If you were defending champ, you get $100. But until that funding kicks in on a consistent basis, we just gonna keep it like this. But when we do the pay-per-views, when money coming in, money will go out to the debaters.
Okay. So is there going to be any type of vetting process or anything like that the debaters will have, where they have to show sources or anything before they do the debates? Or is it just still going to be kind of like you challenge me, I challenge you, and we just agree to debate something? Or
it's going to be a lot of that. But then you will have sometimes where if a debater during the negotiation period, if a debater say, hey, I want us to show each other our sources, and they agree to that, then they can do that. I'm not enforcing it, but if they want to do that, they are more than welcome to do so. So one of the things that we're going to do is something, shout out to Cannon, that Cannon came up with. It's called the Crucible. So whenever a new person comes into the league, like we got a brother called Mars Johns. He coming in next Tuesday. He gonna have a PowerPoint presentation. You gotta have a presentation to say what your worldview is or what it is you trying to disseminate. And then all the available debaters will come up and scrutinize or agree with whatever it is they put down, and then we're gonna take a vote. Majority votes wins. If the majority says, nah, we don't want him here, or he not ready for whatever reason, hey bro, come back in a couple weeks or a month. If they say, yeah, we want the smoke, we think he'll be a good fit or she'll be a good fit, welcome to the World Rewards Debate League.
Okay. So they're gonna have to do a little show and prove.
For sure.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Some people think they built for the environment, and then they end up not being built for the environment.
Right.
A lot of people assume that their information is the end all be all, and then all of a sudden, when they lose, they having a fit. They running around to everybody that'll listen saying that something was wrong with the platform instead of just taking an L. So we're going to test them out right then and there, because if they ain't built for it, they're going to whine, they're going to cry, they're going to jump off and complain. But if they can stand in and take the heat, because I'm going to be throwing them questions too.
Oh, and God.
If they can stand in and take the heat, then they're a keeper. If they can't, get out of here.
Nice. I'm with it. I like it because one thing I don't like is all that running around crying about some.
Oh my God.
That just drives me nuts. Oh
my God.
Good Lord. And so, yeah, so I'm glad that that's going to be something that y'all are going to be kind of getting through Excuse me. And what was I gonna say? What about that? Because I remember the idea about like being able to challenge judges after a ruling. Is that something that you're going to consider doing still, or are you still standing firm on trusting the opinions or the verdict or whatever that comes from that panel of judges, and that's it?
It's not even that. In all honesty, it's not even that I trust the judges, because I've disagreed with the judges plenty of times. But what it comes down to is the judge's decision is final.
Okay.
And I respect the judges I pick. Their decision stands. If you don't like it, the best you can do is come and do a presentation on why you thought they was wrong. But if you take the L, you took the L. Thing is, you come back better, stronger, more prepared, and hopefully you'll get the W. Just like in the Versus series, in the Worldview Wars Debate League, a loss don't mean that you out of contention. You can still end up, if you had a good performance, if you were charismatic, if your presentation was pristine, those factors are all added in, and you can still end up being in the top 10 even though you took a loss.
Right.
So the fact that people be crying about losing, it really be killing me. And it just show that people really don't be paying attention when I talk about what goes into being ranked in my debate league, because they think they information is just so amazing that they can't lose, or they just don't be paying attention when I say at the end all be all.
I really think it's the first one. I think sometimes it'd be a little ego, like people think that they have this superior information and that they convey it so well, but in the process of them delivering that information, they oftentimes forget about the fact that they're actually in a little bit of a verbal duel. Like they don't rebut. They'll forsake all of the things about argumentation, just trying to get ramble off a bunch of information.
Exactly.
And then they, and still be wondering why they lost, mad that they lost. Well, your presentation really wasn't that good.
Yeah, you stumbled over your words. It can be a lot of factors that go into it. But my thing is, be man enough to take the L. Like I say, these dudes, I worry about these cats because I'm like, it's a sister in a lounge or in a bar, in an eating establishment. One of these dudes is going to make her call the police, or her brother or her cousins, because they don't know how to take an L. So when she make it obvious that she ain't interested, or she just downright say she not interested, they might persist. Because somewhere along the line, they never learned to take an L.
Right.
I learned as a very young man, you win some and you lose some. You don't whine and cry about it. You get the dust off your pants and you get back up and get back at it.
Right. Exactly.
Not these cats.
Not these ones.
Ridiculous.
And it seems me. But I'm very excited about these shifts and changes that's going on. Hey, Cannon just popped up here.
Too. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Like, are there any other changes that that are going on between the platforms or anything like that?
No, just like I said, just instead of 10 minutes, it's 12 minutes. Other than that, nothing changed but the look and the name. Everything else is going to be the same energy. We're going to try to bring the same edutainment to the people. It is what it is. Hopefully, we'll get the same following. We'll get them subscribers up over on the other channel. And we're going to keep pushing. But we're doing it at our pace. We ain't worried about the outside noise, because that's another thing that kind of happened. The outside noise started seeping in to what we were doing, and that made for a distraction. So now We in our own world, we in our own universe, and we're gonna do it how we want to do it.
Yeah. So, Cannon, how you feeling about this this shift to worldview wars? No, maybe he done got busy.
Unmute your mic, bro, if you're talking.
No, everything as far as I'm concerned, I just want to see good content, some solid debates. As y'all been saying, the theme is no whining. And I'm not this time because people like to say put a name on it. I'm not putting no specific name on it because it's not just one person. It's a lot of everybody want to be a diva, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean diabolical. I'm just saying like, and that's no disrespect, but a lot of people want specific things and just go with the if you're gonna stick with it, just do it the way we requesting it. You know what I'm saying? Do the show, do your presentation, do your debate, win, lose, or draw, have fun. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like all the extracurricular politics, all the outside influences, if they got something to say, they can just continue doing what they doing wherever they are. No harm, no foul. It don't gotta be I'm mad at them or anything like that. Just do what you're doing. If you feel like you can do better where you are. You know what I'm saying? And I'll clap for you. But as far as what we got going on, if you want to join in, the more the merrier. I'm just looking for good quality content, good presentations, and good competitive debating and fun. And there's nothing wrong with a harmless banter, but all the disrespect, all the backbiting, and all the fake politics, it's boring. It take away from something we doing for the people. You know what I'm saying? So I like that we getting a fresh start, new lease on life, and hopefully it is my hope that we can get that done and it can get back the sport of it all again.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Being fun.
And that's one thing that I gotta say will also change. Like I said, minimum to none on the cursing. No personal attacks. So if your opponent lost their house 5 years ago and somebody doxed them and found out, guess what? You bring it up in a debate, or you bring up that they got a divorce, they got some challenges with their children, whatever it is that's become known for whatever reason. If you bring it up in the debate, you lose.
I love that.
I love it.
That.
Period.
I love it.
Yes.
It's a forfeit.
Yes.
We're gonna keep it strictly to the information. I don't
Let's
care
deal with the information.
Personal life. And if somebody is a PDF file and we find out, they not gonna be debating in the league anyway, because I don't deal with PDF files.
That part.
Mm.
So all of that personal stuff, keep it to yourself, because you really gonna be crying about losing, because I'm just gonna stop the live and declare the other person the winner.
Dang. Well, I'm with that.
Right. Find out something serious, I suggest you go straight to DMG instead of broadcasting it. That's
right. Go to DMG instead of broadcasting it. Come on, people. Communicate. You know. So yes, good things to look forward to. Definitely looking forward to being a part of that.
I do hope you eventually still do your tournament, because I was looking forward to that.
What's that? What tournament?
The one that was gonna go down this year, where they can't pick the topic or what side they on, and
you talking? Okay, yeah.
That sounded really exciting.
See, I actually put that on pause because the brothers didn't really agree with it. But I'm gonna see what the debaters think, because I thought that was a nice way to determine the number one contender.
I love that idea.
Every one of the debaters that I heard talking about that idea thought that it was gonna be fun. Like, you know, like when we would discuss it or, you know, talk about that being a possibility, it was positive feedback that I recall getting.
And nobody's doing that like that. I was excited to see it.
Okay.
And then I think that it would add some versatility to the topics that are being debated as well. Like,
Yes.
it'll force people to learn about new things, and then not only learn about something new, but then also present a position on it, whether it's the one that you are for or not. Like,
Right.
it forces you to consider other perspectives. I
That's
like it.
true.
Yeah, and because they're gonna have to get crafty on the spot, because I may say, is Trump a good president? And the person who don't like Donald Trump may be the affirmative.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
you gotta, if you a debater though,
Mm-hmm.
you can debate whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what's up. But yeah, I might revisit that before Debate Mania and use that to determine who the number one contender is at Debate Mania. That was my idea, my goal anyway. So
Mhm.
if the debaters is with it, we're gonna do it.
Good. I want to see that.
Yes. So I guess we'll go ahead, and we are already 20 minutes in. So I figure we could go ahead on and make this transition to you doing your presentation and sharing this information with us that you have. Very interested in this here topic you got.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Let's see. All right, can y'all see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me move the banner. And this, since I had that appearance on Sinetta, I was thinking about this because I was just listening to what some of the brothers were saying. And it really was weird to me to see so many Black men talking the way they talk about Black women. I mean,
What was you talking about in response to what you were on Sinetta saying?
And even before I got up there. And so real quick, let me go here. I'm gonna go to the diction, or to Google, I should say, because I want to bring up a quick definition that I should have added to my slides, but I didn't. So we just gonna define what misogynoir is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's important to get into what it is. I'm trying to debunk. So because it's aimed at one group in particular, and that's kind of the reason why I felt like it needed to be dealt with.
I have a definition here if you would like me to read it for you.
Please do, because I'm having some issues.
Okay. It says misogynoir is a term coined by scholar Moya Bailey in 2008 to describe the unique combination of anti-Black racism and misogyny specifically directed at Black women, particularly in media, digital spaces, and daily life. It highlights how Black women experience prejudice that is direct from both general racism and that prejudice that is distinct from both general racism and general sexism.
There it is. And so I'm looking at the conversation that occurred on Sinetta, and I'm looking at the conversation that's occurring in the wider community as it relates to the black male and female relationship. And I realized that this term is basically, it's like cloaked over all of these men with their criticism of Black women. It's cloaked. all over each of their talking points. And again, to me, it's kind of bizarre because most of these men are Black and they echoing Eurocentric critiques of Black women. That is the weirdest thing in the world to me. So I thought, as a brother who, you know, me being a misogynist and all, I thought that I should come on and address, because you know that's what I've been. You know, it's a narrative out there that I'm a misogynist. So I thought that I should, me being a misogynist, maybe I should take it upon myself to come and clear some things up. So y'all, y'all bear with me. This is called Black Love Restored, a research-based rebuttal to Misogynoir and the myth that Black men do not need Black women. And we could just get into it right quick. Black Love Restored, and I already gave y'all the title and all of that good stuff. So we're going to go to the abstract. Prevailing narratives within contemporary digital manosphere and red pill spaces claim that Black men do not want, need, or value Black women, and that Black women's perceived aggression or masculinity renders them undesirable long-term partners. This presentation critically examines these claims through an interdisciplinary lens, drawing on demographic data, Black feminist theory, historical sociology, and media studies. Contrary to popular discourse, empirical evidence consistently shows that Black men overwhelmingly form long-term partnerships and marriages with Black women. And the reason it says article is because this also is going to be an article that I put on my website. I'm going to start. My wife made me a website like 2 years ago, and I have not maximize the things I could do on it. So I'm gonna start doing some things on my website as well, dmgthepoet.com. So y'all will see this in article form over there as well. We're gonna continue with the abstract. This presentation further argues that Misogynoir, the intersection of racism and misogyny directed at Black women, has been repackaged with some Black male discourses as a substitute for accountability. While acknowledging structural forces that have constrained Black male relational stability. This study forgoes Black women's disproportionate emotional, economical, and social labor sustaining Black families, communities, and male advancement. The article concludes that Black liberation narratives that marginalize or devalue Black women are both empirically false and sociologically self-defeating. Introduction. Claims that Black men do not need or desire Black women have gained renewed prominence in online manosphere discourse, often framed as hard truths derived from dating markets, hypergamic theories, or evolutionary sociology. These claims are rarely grounded in demographic evidence and instead rely on anecdote, media spectacle, and racialized gender stereotypes. More troubling, such narratives shift responsibility for relational instability away from structural inquiries and male behavior and onto Black women themselves. The concept of misogynoir, introduced by Moya Bailey, describes the specific form of hatred, suspicion, and devaluation directed at Black women at the intersection of race and gender. Unlike generalized misogyny, misogynoir is historically rooted in racial characters such as the Sapphire, Jezebel, and Mammy, which frame Black women as aggressive, hypersexual, or emotionally expendable. Theoretical framework, misogynoir and gendered racialization continue. Contemporary manosphere narratives often reproduce these tropes under the guise of self-improvement or the high-value male discourse. Rather than challenging white patriarchal norms that historically excluded Black men, such frameworks reinscribe them, positioning Black women as impediments to male success rather than as co-participants in collective struggle. Empirical evidence on marriage and partnering. Contrary to popular claims, demographic data consistently show that Black men overwhelmingly partner with Black women. The U.S. Census Bureau and Pew Research Center data indicate that approximately 80 to 85% of married Black men are married to Black women, making Black men among the most racially ignominious groups in the United States. And that's from the Pew Research Center in 2017. So it's fairly recent. Interracial relationships involving Black men, while visible in media and celebrity culture, remain statistically marginal. The disconnect between perception and reality reflects the disproportionate visibility of elite or highly mobile Black men rather than the relational patterns of the broader population. Historical disruption of Black intimacy. Black family formation has never occurred under neutral conditions. As documented by W.E.B. Du Bois, slavery, Jim Crow segregation, racial terror, and labor exclusion systemically, undermined Black marital stability. In the late 20th century, mass incarceration and economic restructuring further destabilized Black households by disproportionately removing Black men from their communities. Importantly, these disruptions are often misrepresented as cultural deficiencies rather than structural outcomes. This misrepresentation allows contemporary narratives to pathologize Black women's responses to instability while ignoring the historical forces that necessitated resilience, adaptability, and assertiveness. And y'all stop me whenever y'all want to if y'all got something y'all want to talk about. Black male accountability and relational failure. A central invention of this paper is the assertion that Black men must more honestly confront their own relational failures. These include emotional withdrawal, inconsistent partnership, public disparagement of Black women, and the unequal distribution of domestic and emotional labor. While such patterns are not universal, their persistence has been insufficiently acknowledged in male-centered discourse. Rather than interrogating these failures, some Black men have embraced narratives that recast accountability as emasculation and reciprocity as submission. This reframing allows personal shortcomings to be externalized and projected onto Black women, reinforcing misogynoir while preserving male self-concept. forgiveness engendered labor among Black women. Despite these failures, now please pay attention to this part. Despite these failures from Black men, Black women have continued to demonstrate extraordinary levels of forgiveness and commitment. Research consistently shows that Black women remain highly invested in Black men's emotional well-being, political advocacy, and economic advancement, even in contexts where reciprocity is uneven. Now, I'm a prime example of this. Despite my failures as a husband, and in some instances, despite my failures as a father, my wife has demonstrated extraordinary levels of forgiveness. And I wouldn't be at the place I am as a man without her. I wouldn't have the businesses I have without her. So I'm a prime example of this. I'm gonna read this one more time. Despite these failures, Black women have continued to demonstrate extraordinary levels of forgiveness and commitment. Research consistently shows that Black women remain highly invested in Black men's emotional well-being, political advocacy, and economic advancement, even in contexts where reciprocity is uneven, even in contexts where he don't do the same thing for her. She still show extraordinary levels of forgiveness and commitment. How many Black men you know owe whatever success they had from a business standpoint to that woman behind them, pushing them towards that success? Black women disproportionately support Black male entrepreneurship through unpaid labor, financial contributions, and emotional regulation. They also play a central role in educational advocacy for Black boys, intervening where institutional support is lacking. This labor is rarely recognized as such and is instead naturalized as an obligation. In other words, we tell her that that's what she's supposed to be doing. The biggest donators to my channel are female. I couldn't tell you outside of a couple, I couldn't tell you no men. It's literally 3 men who donate to my channel. Everybody else, out of like 10 consistent donors, 8 consistent donors, 3 are men. And then when you expand to like the 12 who would donate more than 3 or 4 times a year, the rest are still women. It's three brothers and the rest are women. I'm sure Sonetta will probably say the same thing. Deconstructing the aggressive or angry Black woman stereotype. The characterization of Black women as aggressive or angry often reflects discomfort with boundary setting rather than actual hostility. As Patricia Hill Collins argues, the strong Black woman archetype functions as both praise and punishment, celebrating endurance while denying vulnerability and care. It's like a backhanded compliment. Because when we call her strong, we expect her to put up with more bullshit. So while we praising her for being strong, we using that strength to throw more on her. It's crazy work. Labeling fatigue, assertiveness, or self-advocacy as aggression allows inadequate relational dynamics to persist unchallenged and places the burden of emotional regulation disproportionately on Black women. That's crazy.
This is something that happens to me a lot. I think I'm a pretty assertive woman, but I get a lot of backlash for speaking up.
Talk about it.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially I know the back chat has been mentioned a little bit in the comments, but definitely and I get labeled aggressive, masculine. There's been the nicest thing that someone told me is that I was being mean, because I was advocating for myself or speaking up for myself, or and things like that, or taking leadership in the space that needed, some leadership in that spot. I just took and I get criticized all the time for it, and so
It's crazy.
it really is crazy to me. I've been talked to horribly because of it. And then what ends up happening is they start the men who I encounter this with, they start trying to prove to me that they are the man. So then it just leads to a lot of disrespect and all that stuff. Very strange.
Yeah, it's crazy work.
Yeah, I can relate.
Patriarchy, escapism, and the illusion of power. Some contemporary Black male discourses adopt patriarchal frameworks historically used to marginalize Black men themselves. As bell hook notes, patriarchy offers the illusion of dominance while reproducing emotional isolation and relational failure.
Yes. Oh man, you talking that talk.
Phenomena such as the passport bro movement exemplify this escapism, reframing avoidance of accountability as enlightenment and cultural unfamiliarity as peace. Such strategies do not resolve relational dysfunction. They merely displace it. You don't think you're gonna run away from your responsibilities to the Black woman by going to get a non-Black woman. Don't think that's gonna make you better or enlightened. It just make you a coward, my G. Empirical research from the CDC and National Fatherhood Initiative consistently shows that Black fathers are more involved in their children's lives than dominant stereotypes suggest. However, even when present, Black women often shoulder the majority of caregiving and organizational labor. This imbalance further complicates claims that Black women are the primary obstacles to Black family stability. My conclusion. The assertion that Black men do not need Black women is empirically false, historically dishonest, and ideologically motivated. Black women have not merely accompanied Black men through systemic, y'all forgive me, adversity. They have actively sustained Black survival through emotional, economic, and political labor. Black men's liberation cannot be achieved through the degradation or dismissal of Black women, nor can it be sustained without honest accountability. Black love does not require reinvention, it requires restoration. Black love is not broken, it has been burdened. It does not need to be recreated, it needs to be honored. Despite the absurd condition of being misseen, Black love survives, held together by the loyalty, forgiveness, and resilience of Black women. When Black men embrace accountability, they affirm the dignity Black women never abandoned in the first place. Black love exists, it always has, and it always will. But its restoration requires the bravery to confront ourselves without illusion. In a world that insists on misunderstanding us, Black love persists as an existential act of defiance led by Black women. My sisters, I salute you for your loyalty, and I apologize to you for placing the burdens on you that we have. My brothers, I challenge you to stop criticizing Black women and start empathizing with them. Instead, only together can the Black man and Black woman move forward in power. And y'all can pause it. These are the references I use. Feel free to look any of this information up. And that is that.
That is that. Listen,
Ooh,
you know,
okay.
what you think, Ray?
That was dope. Saying a lot of that stuff all the time. We need more men to speak up about it and speak out about it.
No, excellent
I
presentation.
appreciate it. I loved it.
Oh, Zakaria's here.
Yeah, my fault. I was backstage. I didn't want to interrupt DMG because I didn't. But no, yeah, excellent presentation.
Appreciate it.
You did touch on one thing I did want to talk about, perception. And do you think a large part, because you mentioned perception in like the media, do you think like algorithms and they like control like what specifically like the Black community does see on like a certain level, and that kind of leads to like it's almost like psychological warfare on like the men and the women to like have to see each other as enemies? Do you think that's like part of what we go through as a people?
I think it's definitely a divide and conquer tactic.
Right.
I think that the brothers like the Passport Bros and the Manosphere and what that has morphed into, I think they are they outliers. I don't think that they are in any way the majority. I think they're a loud minority.
Mm-hmm.
But because they loud, it becomes infectious, and a lot of people start echoing some of those talking points, even if they don't adopt them all. And you get a lot of weak jellyback men who are looking for a reason to blame Black women for their shortcomings, that then start to, absorb a lot of these false narratives and try to project them out as true. When the reality is, if they had any kind of backbone about them, they would understand that accountability start with us. It's funny to me how a lot of Black men talk about being the head and being the leader and this and that, but then they won't take accountability for where they failed. Part of being a leader is acknowledging that you messed up, and that you're willing to correct it. So I think it's a divide and conquer tactic, and I think that it's strategic. It's similar to how when immigrants from the continent come over here and they tell them don't move to neighborhoods where we are the majority.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think it's that same kind of tactic, because the one thing we know people fear is Black unity, whether it's between the Black man and the Black woman, or if it's between the citizens of the
Black woman, the Black man and the Black man. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So.
Yep.
I know some of these. I definitely know that this conversation is about men in the relationship between Black men and women. But I just want to kind of see what y'all do with this, because going to the point that was made in the presentation about all of this extra labor that's placed on women with this amount of obligation that that we feel to Black men that is not statistically or according to the research that you gathered it's not being reciprocated. And Black women become tired of it. We've gone through all of a lot of Black women go to therapy and stuff. We thought it was us at first, and now we figuring out that it's not us. And to the point of this presentation, that it's seeming like it's not us. Not saying that there's no room for improvement, but it's not us. So at what point do we say we need to step back and let y'all figure it out?
It depends on what the context of your situation is. If you married, then it's hard to say, let me step back and let him figure it out. But you can, whether it's in the company of a therapist or, somebody outside of the relationship that you can speak with, or you can just sit your spouse down, your husband down. It's been plenty of times when my wife said
it's a bit easier to overcome if you're married, but I think like in the dating scene, like it's a little bit harder to overcome that particular thing, because if we've been in the circumstances and had the therapy and now we taking a little bit better care but still wanting to be open to relationship, but like not really knowing how to navigate that space. I think that's a little bit of where we as Black women, because of the things that you're talking about, I think that I'm not going to speak. I'm going to say me. I'm not going to speak for Black women. But that's where I start to find the challenge, because I'm like, okay, well, how many times am I supposed to how many times am I supposed to give the grace? How many times am I supposed to say, okay, not this Black man? Like, when do I decide to just take care of myself and say, forget it? Like, y'all, I'll catch y'all on the other side.
I think that, I think Black women need to, kind of like we talked about the vetting process with the debate league. I think Black women need to really vet these brothers before they make any kind of commitment to them. I got a little homie at the job, and he only, I think, 22 years old, and he how can I say this? He hasn't watered the grass yet, and so he looking to get active, but he taking his time. And the young lady invited him over to her place, and so he was asking me all these questions, and I told him, expect nothing but prepare for everything. And I think our sisters have to start vetting brothers, and don't just give a brother the opportunity to spend time with you. Like, your time is precious. And your time, like, time is the one commodity that it seems like we got an endless supply of, but we also are always running out of it at the same time. I'm 49 years old, and I remember my 40th birthday like it was yesterday. But that 9 years went by in a blink of an eye. Right. And so you don't have the luxury to waste time on somebody who not fully invested in seeing you be the woman that you meant to be, and him helping you cultivate that, and you doing the same for him. And so, but it's an easy way to vet it, though. And I'm going to tell y'all what it is. And a lot of people ain't going to like it, but it's the truth. If you want to see if a man really interested in you, don't give him the goods right away, and see if he stick around once he know that ain't happening in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Now, I ain't telling a woman what to do with their body. I'm not that type of brother. I'm not going, if you want to get laid, get laid. But if you want to be taken seriously by a man who you trying to take seriously, let him earn it. Like, don't, and I ain't saying that sisters don't do this, but I'm saying if you really want to know if a man's serious about you, take sex off the table. Because now, with sex off the table, now he got to figure out who you are, what you like, and how can he accommodate you outside of trying to sexually please you. And if he don't show no interest in that, or he show very little interest in that, you can automatically kick him to the curb. But if he actually putting that effort in to get to know you and to try to help build you up without that being part of the equation, not that it won't eventually be, but right away, that ain't part of the equation. It's an easy way to vet that. And that's pretty much universal. That's not even just black men. That's men, period. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, but it's other ways to, like, consider it like a job interview. Like you a boss and you hiring for a job. And to be honest, who you spend your time with from a relationship standpoint should be taken more serious than anything you gonna do. Because this person, if you had kids, this person could potentially be around your kids. This person could be around your mother, your sibling. So this is somebody who you trying to bring into your life. You got to vet them and find out. That's not to say that it won't still not work out, because people are people. But I think the vetting process for men and women got to get a little more stringent.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you on that. Like, for a second, I was kind of like, I don't know, friend, because, you know, like, some people, they'll wait. These men will wait. Hold on. Listen. These men will wait. They will wait. They heard Uncle Steve tell us to wait 90 days or 60 days. They heard Uncle Steve and they adapted. And so they can get through them. They've been practicing for the 3 months.
Well, some wait till they get married, and some wait till they get you pregnant.
Yeah, and that's why I say it got to be stringent. Like, you know how,
right? But that's what I was going to get around to real quick, if you don't mind. That's what I was going to get around to, because I was going to say I do agree with you though. That ultimately in that vetting process, I know that it was something that I had to realize how little my actual village and support system was involved in the process of me getting in the relationships with the people that I was in relationships with. It was like I had already decided and committed to the relationship, and then basically kind of told my family that they was going to have to deal with it, versus like actually bringing this person around and having them vetted and having the family see what they think about this person before I agree to make them part of our family, because that's ultimately what's happening. This person is becoming a part of the family. And so everybody should be a part of that process.
Yeah.
Or your key people.
It's kind of like, do y'all watch that show with Nephew Tommy from the Steve Harvey Morning Show, Ready to Love, or whatever it's called? Where a bunch of singles come together and they go through a series of dates, and eventually they figure out who they got the chemistry with, who they got the connection with, etc. And people, they end up meeting siblings, best friends. They really go through this little process. And a lot of times, again, even with them doing all this on national television, you still get to these reunion shows and they find out that person was somebody else. But my point is, talk to their siblings, talk to their friends, have them talk to your friends, find out, like, if it, hey, do homeboy have anger issues? Have he ever put his hands on a woman? Check a nigga background.
Right. Yeah.
Just don't ask what are some red flags to look for?
Don't just assume because he got a beard like DMG's that he like DMG. You feel me? Just take him through the ringer, because if a man think you worth it, he gonna go through whatever he got to go through to get his prize.
Oh, let me tell you. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, like, there's some tribe over in Africa somewhere. I'll have to find the video. But like when they want to marry one of the women in this village, then the guy who wants to marry, this is crazy, but just to your point, like the guy who wants to marry the girl, he has to go through like getting like they lay him down on the ground and like shoot him between his legs with like with a darn, what is it called? A slingshot. And they do it, I think, like multiple times. Like I'm just gonna say 5 times. But I was like, wow, the amount of commitment that he has to marrying this woman, knowing that this is what he has to go through to get to her. He better not get a hold of her and act a darn fool.
Exactly.
But yeah, like when they know that they had to go through something, and I was just like, dang, that's quite the commitment to let somebody do that. But yeah, so it just kind of reinforced what you were just saying there.
See, it's a lot of people that knock the Bible. This is why me and Cannon finna start doing a lot more Christian content, because it's a lot of people that knock the Bible. But according to the Bible, if you marry a woman, you got to be willing to die for her. And to me, that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate sign of, like, if you're willing to give your life for her, then understand this, fellas, for all these Bible believers who talk that misogynistic noise. If you willing to die for her, you can't say, hey, ma, why don't you go out and have you a good time and decompress and get out the house? I got the kids, I got the clothes, I got the you can't make sure whether you pay all the bills or you pay half of them, you can't make sure your obligations is met from a financial standpoint. You can't make sure she got some days to herself where she can chill and she ain't feeling the weight of everything that we know Black women have to deal with on a daily basis. If you're willing to die for her, because that's what the Bible say you got to be willing to do if you marry her. If you're willing to give your life for her, you ain't willing to give her a break. Just think about that for a minute. So it's a lot that go into claiming you want to be with a woman. Like, you can make your mouth say anything. Mm-hmm. You can sex a woman all day long, but sex ain't the end all be all. Right. When she knows she got to wake up, and not only do she got to go to work just like you do, but when she get home, she got to make dinner. Or get dinner, she got to make sure the kids is straight. She got to make sure, like, it's a lot that go into it. And even sometimes, I remember it was times where my wife couldn't sleep because she couldn't turn her mind off. And I'm sleeping like a baby. And then I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, she's still up. And I'm like, what's going on? Because they're suffering in silence rather than have somebody diminish what it is they're going through. Mm-hmm. So my advice to men is to just be more present and be more aware when something is happening, because before you know it, it's then got out of hand, and now you got an uphill battle trying to figure out where you went wrong or where you had a misstep, and it was all because you wasn't paying attention. So yeah, I think y'all should just vet these brothers. I'm talking about, hey, I legit need your background information, my G. And I ain't doing all that if I'm just trying to date you. All right, listen, if it's worth it to you, you're going to do whatever you got to do to be in my orbit. And if it ain't worth it to you, then fine. And I ain't talking about because he say meet me for coffee, you got to do a background check. But I'm saying once y'all done met for coffee and y'all done met for drinks and y'all done went and watched the band, then when you start getting that feeling like I would like to actually spend some serious time with this individual, I don't see nothing wrong with the background check. Like, listen, I'm looking up cats that want to date my daughter. Like, I want to know, like, what have you been to jail? What hey man, what happened to you? Why you was in like I want to know, because if you planning on spending time with my daughter or my son for that matter, I don't want to make it seem like, you know, you can just do anything to my boy. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with going through a vetting process when people want to be in your orbit. Your time is too precious to be wasted on somebody who's not worthy.
Yeah.
So what are some red flags to look for? Like in everyday life?
I think so. If you meet up with a man and the first thing he do is pull out his phone and put it face down, that's a red flag. In that, now there is a chance that he just do it out of habit, but if you pulling it out, you shouldn't. If he got to leave the table to answer the phone, you feel me? What you got to leave the table for? Like you could just say, "Hey, I'm on a date," or "I'm out. Let me call you back." But when you got to get up, unless it's a business call, which it very well could be, but it all depends. This is one thing I found out when I was super young. When I was super young, I used to think this thing called women's intuition was a myth, right? But me and my boys, we would we'd be planning on going out to the club or to the strip club or wherever we was going, because I got married at 20 years old, so I still had a lot of that in me. And my wife would be like, I don't feel good. Like, it's like I got butterflies in my stomach. Like, what y'all doing? And I know I'm up to no good. But she telling me she got a bad feeling or she feel weird. And I'm ignoring it because I'm in my mind, she just don't want me to go nowhere. But every time I was up to no good, that's how she said she felt. And she just knew something wasn't right. Something was off. So go with your gut and go with your instinct. If something is off, I don't mean like your insecurity. I mean, you got a feeling like something off with this. Like every time he get a phone call, he got to get up. Every time he got to go to the bathroom, he in there for like whatever it is that's pinging your awareness or your spidey senses going off. Look, don't just think you tripping, because what'll end up happening is you'll find out later on that you wouldn't trip. Go with your gut. Your instincts ain't gonna lie to you. It, like my sister Michelle Turner say, if he talk a lot about his ex or his past relationship and complaining about her, or just if it's not a complaint, but it's almost like a comparison, then she might still be on his mind. So there's a lot of things you can pick up on whether or not you want to continue to give a person your time. And like I say, your instincts ain't gonna lie to you.
Does anyone know any red flags of someone that might be abusive?
Like right out of the gate, I don't know. That's why I say I don't think it's a problem doing a background check on somebody you planning on spending time with, because a lot of times they be the most charming, unsuspecting cats out there, and you don't know what might set off the abuse. It could be, y'all everything going good, y'all dating, and y'all decide to move in together, and nothing happens for 6-7 months or a year. And then you go out with your friends and miss his call and come home and now he didn't put his hands on you. So I don't know how to reflect those red flags per se as you just meeting somebody. I think that it just you just have to do your due diligence, because 9 times out of 10, if they put their hands on somebody, it might be a paper trail. Hopefully.
even over time.
A lot of times there's not. A lot of times there's not a background or anything.
I mean, even over time. I think if they're
I definitely know for a fact that one of the things I don't like is a man that calls women a bitch, especially if he's calling her a bitch, like when he's upset or complaining, he's mad or something like that. Because I feel like that's like fighting language, you know, like it's like you fighting mad or something like that. You are trying to use a language, like the level of violence in the language that you use, I feel like is indicative of the type of violence that you could inflict physically.
Yeah.
So a man calling me a bitch or referring to women, and I think that Michelle even said females when they call you female
word.
Like I think that's a little bit of a red flag on that too.
Yeah, I think if they'll do stuff like punch the wall.
Yeah, some of the ladies in the chat said most abusers start with psychological abuse or put downs or trying to control where you go and who you talk to and things of that nature. So it all depends on what the situation is, but I think it just come down to you not ignoring the red flags. If he got a violent outburst where he yelling to the top of his lungs, calling you out his name, yeah, it's time to kick rocks and let that sucker go.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna be having me yelling, raising my voice, and getting none of that stuff.
Well, I think if they hit the wall,
gaslighting, manipulation, love bombing are actually characteristics of abuse, and I'm assuming that could be verbal or physical.
Yeah,
I think if they'll hit the wall or damage properly, they'll eventually hit you.
For sure, if they'll hit something, they'll hit you. Like all of that stuff.
It's a line in one of my favorite superhero movies. Yes, I'm a geek, so make fun of it all you want.
Let's talk about it.
But in Batman versus Superman, Bruce Wayne says if it's a 1% chance, you have to take it as an absolute certainty. So if it's a 1% chance that you they display some behavior where you think they'll hit you, in today's world, take it as a certainty and get out of Dodge. Because this is what I know. It's like when I think about my daughters, I don't even know if my daughters would tell me and their brother if a man put their hands on them. I think my daughters would kill them. And in the event that they don't, if I find out, I'm going to jail. So in order to avoid all of that, because I don't want to be around a bunch of hard legs for the rest of my life, but I have peace with it if I know I took out somebody that put their hands on my child. So, but in order to avoid that, if you start recognizing signs that somebody is abusive, just get out of Dodge so that way your pops ain't got to get locked up. I hope y'all listen, because I don't want to go to jail, but I will if I have to. I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
That part.
Yeah, no, seriously. There's a lot that I think Black women have to. But I guess we still are at that question. Like how do we get to the point? Is it just having these conversations? How do we get to the point where more Black men are understanding and realizing that they need to put this effort in, or seeing the value in what Black women are doing in these relationships for them to stop these things from happening and produce more positive, healthy, happy, long-standing relationships?
So I think that it really starts with men. Now, unfortunately, I got to the place I am because I was a man who failed in many, many ways in my relationship. And so because I'm so remorseful, I can't forgive myself, regardless if she forgave me or not, for the shortcomings I had in my marriage. Part of it was due to what I deal with from a mental standpoint. Like it hit me in my stomach when Sunday said, if they hit something, they hit you. Because I used to tear the house up. I feel blessed that I never put my hands on her or the kids, but it was all kinds of patched holes in my first house from me punching drywall when I was out of my mind. And by the grace of God, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was seeing my mother get hit or what, but I never even thought about putting my hands on it, even when I wasn't in my right mind. But that was still traumatic to her.
Right.
Me yelling at the top of my lungs was still traumatic to her. To the point where when she got to a certain point and she was like, hey, you got to go get this figured out. Like we were separated and, you know, we were trying to make our way back to each other. But one of her main caveat was, you got to figure out what that is. Like we had explored it before, but when, you know, the thought of having a mental situation, I just was like, no, I'm out of here. And never went back to get it properly evaluated, but that was one of her caveats. And that's why when it said the well-being of Black men and the political advocacy of Black men and the economic stability of Black men has always been something that Black women put forth. I felt it because I qualified for all three. I remember being out of my mind. I had fought my brother and I'm handcuffed and maced. And I'm telling the police, man, that's my little brother. If I wanted to throw him out a window, I could throw him out a window because I'm not in my right mind. My aunt literally stood by me because she like, these police are going to beat you down. Because I'm telling them, if you let me off these cuffs, I know y'all can't beat. Like I'm talking reckless to the police. They didn't mace me. I can't see nothing. I can't open my eyes. I'm handcuffed and I'm still talking reckless. And my aunt, everywhere I walked, she walked because I'm pacing back and forth. She walked because in her mind, she got to protect me for if they decide to beat me down. Now, how she thought she was going to stop these two cops from doing whatever they wanted to do. But that's what Black women do. Like one of my favorite myths out of ancient Kemet, everybody always talk about Aset finding these cut up parts of Heru. I mean, not Heru, but Asar, and putting him back together again, right? And then magically resurrecting them so that they can make Heru. What the narrative don't tell you is that just like his brother had cut him into 14 pieces or whatever it was, he was hunting for, all while her and her sister were looking for these parts to put Asar back together. Their brother was hunting her. He was trying to eliminate her because she was a threat too, because she was the queen. So she was under duress while she was looking for her husband parts. My thing is, the analogy to me is, despite her being under duress, despite her being in danger, her mission was to find her husband's body parts so she can put him back together and resurrect him to life. Black women, when Black men leave the house and they go out into the world and they get torn apart, verbally, mentally, physically, however you name it, Black women put them back together again as soon as they come through that door. Despite the fact that they've been hunted, that they've been disparaged, that they've been beat down, that they've been maligned, they still put that Black man back together again with no regard for what they done been through throughout the day, the stress that they had to endure, the fight that they had to do, whether it was worrying about my wife wore her hair natural, but when she was in corporate, she wore a wig because she was so concerned about them saying something about her natural hair.
Yeah.
Like that's something I could never, I could never fathom. I'm bald. Now I know it's some brothers that may go through that with their dreads, but you know, they could simply just they can fight it in a myriad of ways, or they can just go to another job. Sisters don't have that where that's more tolerable. And I'm not diminishing what brothers with natural hair go through, but it's just not looked at the same way it is with sisters.
Really, quite frankly, and if let me just say real quick, just from my standpoint, like on this natural hair thing, because shout out to Naughty Roots, that's my business, where we specialize in natural hair and locking styles specifically because of the reason that you just mentioned, the fact that like it's Naughty Roots, like I tie knots in people's hair, our hair is coily, as well as it's a play on like being naughty and like not following along with what people say that you have to do. Because a lot of times when clients will come in, that was one of the things they would do, straighten my hair or do something to make it more digestible for people to accept it so that we wouldn't be rejected for all the other reasons and our hair. And that was something that like we like literally I created a business to overcome that. But in the process, especially like in 2010, 11, 12, those early years, when women were transitioning more to having natural hair, it was not very well received by Black men. I had to sit down with a lot of Black men and their wives and explain to them why it was beneficial for their wives to go natural. Why like women were in my chair crying because they hadn't seen their own natural hair, but their husbands didn't understand, and their husbands were like, well, you're not beautiful to me like this, you know? But now that women have gone through the normalization of seeing our hair and saying that you're going to accept it no matter what, because this is what we are coming with. Look at me with my twist right now. But with that, men are now being able to come in and say, well, you know what, I'm gonna wear my hair natural too. It's not a mop anymore. It's not like all those negative things have been overcome, and now men can like sort of rest in the work that was already done.
Yeah, it's crazy when I think about it, because I wanted I'm like, man, you would look so fly with some locks. So to hear that brothers is like, oh no, you're not beautiful to me like this. It'd be so bizarre to me, but I get that some cats have these issues with controlling the way they woman look, because that same brother, if she put on a blind wig, he ain't gonna like that either.
Right.
So like it's like she can't win for losing, but that's the plight of the Black woman, always trying to fit into this peg that somebody else created for him. But then when she outspoken, when she get to, like, my wife got to a point where it was like, look, I don't care what mom and daddy say. I care what you say as my husband, but I'm not going to allow what you say to override what I want to do and minimize me as a woman. And that was hard for me to deal with at first, because, you know, my wife was very like quiet and meek as a young woman, but as she's gotten mature, you know, and she developed this look, I ain't taking nobody BS no more. It was jarring in that I was proud until it related to me. And then when it related to me, it was like, wait a minute. And so we find ourselves in these back and forths that in hindsight, I realized wasn't even necessary, because I just got to let her do her thing and have this experience and be her outspoken self. And if I'm not comfortable with it, that's my problem, not hers. But I know that's hard I have the fortunate misfortune of having failed and had to pick myself up from that failure, so I can appreciate the evolution. Whereas men who haven't necessarily been through that, they don't understand. Like, I know what it's like to be on the verge of losing my wife. I'm not going back to that for nothing. And that understanding helped me get to a point where now I can advocate for why men shouldn't be a particular way, because I was that way. due to a lack of maturity, due to ignorance, due to arrogance, and all of that. So I can understand how a man can get to that point. It's my job to let them know what the consequences of staying in those mind states is. But when you haven't had the failures and the falls that I have, it's difficult for you to see that you're in error. And that's what I'm having to realize, because sometimes I be talking to brothers and it's like I'm talking Spanish to them when I'm like, bro, it would be better for you to advocate for the black woman than to be against her. And they ain't gonna never learn, and they this and that. It's like, wait, bro, these the same women who've been standing in the gap for us since time immemorial. What you mean they ain't gonna never learn?
Right.
But I have to remember, not everybody that been on the other side of that thing. Like when you have something that's precious to you and you're about to lose it for no other reason than your actions,
your nonsense,
it give you a wake up call.
Yeah.
And until men had that, I be kind of like it. They gotta have a quote unquote come to Jesus moment, or have that epiphany to where they understand what it is they stand to lose. And I feel like a lot of brothers haven't got to that point yet.
I think some of the problem is that a lot of these men aren't marrying people they actually love. They are just looking to fill a job, basically, to put somebody in the role of wife. They check all the boxes on, that they have. They'll go ahead and marry them. And I just think if you marry for love and that's the foundation, you're more willing to work through things and change and, just do whatever you got to do to keep the person you love. But if you don't have those strong feelings for the person you married, I don't think, they're ever going to have that come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. And
so let's see. Timotheus is saying something. The average black man show. He says, DMG, these are the same dudes that. I'm sorry. What is this saying?
That shame women.
That shame
women for having sex while complaining at the same time.
If they're not getting sex, basically.
Yeah, and that's is crazy. Like this notion of a woman is less desirable because of the number of men she slept with.
Yeah. I was having a body count talk with somebody the other day. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but men body count don't mean nothing, apparently. Like it because we come in this Eurocentric society where a man is applauded for the number of female conquests that he have, while a woman is shamed for the very same thing in the opposite direction. So, but the truth of the matter is, if you're a man and you handling your business in that way, who she been with before shouldn't mean nothing to you, because I'm trying to hit a home run every time I'm up to bat. And it don't make no difference about the batters that went ahead of me or the batters that's coming out. I'm trying to hit a home run every time. And I'm doing whatever it takes to get on base. And if you doing that, who she been with before should be irrelevant. Like if you send her to the moon and you ain't got to worry about what nobody else spaceship did, just send her to the moon.
Not only that, it's a ridiculous question to me because they never believe what you tell them anyway. They're never going to know the real number.
That's a fact.
Because if it's too low, in their opinion, they're not going to believe it, and I don't know. So it just doesn't make any sense. Just like that question, what do you bring to the table?
I think that's one of those red flag questions, though. Asking about body count is a red flag question for me.
What do you bring to the table is a red flag question for me. Like,
if a man asks your body count, he gonna have some insecurities.
Mm-hmm. That's
just,
gonna go down and through there.
He already insecure.
Yep.
So he got some trauma because Shorty who he kicked it with had like 5 of them, and they ran into him at a party, and homie had a beard like DMG's, and he couldn't take it. So, and all he had was like a little soul patch. It's all bad for him. So if he asks your body count, see him to the door. If he asks what you can bring to the table, instead of saying, what can we help each other bring to the table, see him to the door. It is what it is.
I just think you should just spend time with people.
Say that one more time.
I was just saying, I just think you should spend time with people and learn them, because people lie and can tell you anything. I just don't see the point of certain questions, but
right. H7G, she says, I just say avoid these men. That's a society thing. They taught women chastity and taught men to sow their wild oats. It's different mindsets. That's definitely something that I've thought about too, on a few different occasions, like where it seems like even outside of sex, like when they say, oh, well, men are unemotional, but women are hyper emotional. I don't agree with that, but that's the narrative. And so I'm like, so why would we be made to have such conflicting desires? Like, why would our desires be in such conflict with each other? I don't think they are. I just think that people just are not taking responsibility or accountability for these mindsets. Just
yeah, that's all it comes down to. Black men in particular just have to be accountable. And if we can be accountable, we can end a lot of the rhetoric. Like, I'm not mad at a sister for feeling a way about Black men. It's my job to let her know she ain't got to feel that way no more. If I was a single man at 49 years old, how would I look? How would I look asking that woman what her body count is? We in our 40s. I'm almost 50, and I'm not trying to date a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old. So I'm trying to date somebody my age or older. If I'm single, I'm saying. And so me asking her body count would be the dumbest question in the world, because
like that's still sabotage. Like you're sabotaging.
Yeah. At our old age, I know we've been getting it in. So ain't no need for me. Hey, let's just, like, what Kat's got to do, instead of asking her body count, ask what make her body shake. And I think you'll be better off, because then all you got to do is make sure you do that. But we ask the wrong questions, and we think we doing something like that make us more suitable or make us a high value. No, when you ask a woman what she brings to the table, then you automatically telling her that she has to bring everything to the table, because what you expect her to say? To me, you automatically letting her know that you gonna come half-cocked.
That's what I feel like. I promise I feel that way. I'd be like, why are you even worried about what I got? What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't want to know what she brings to the
table. It's like you trying to find out how short you can sell me.
That's it.
He wants you to say, I'll be your peace and your comfort. Like, that's what they be wanting to hear.
Yeah, when you ask a woman her body count, you basically just letting her know you gonna come up short in a particular way, and your excuse is gonna be that, well, you was with however many men, and that, like, it's a word. The questions these dudes be asking is weird. So, brothers, stop asking dumb questions. and
Stop
just
asking them dumb questions. Y'all know y'all don't want the answer to. Cut that mess out.
Yeah, just come correct. Like,
just come correct.
Don't ask how many what her body count is. Ask what turned her on and do it.
Right, especially when they be ran through. But anyway. Like some of these Some of these men got way too many partners for them to be asking about somebody's. Real quick, I just want to let everybody know that we have gotten to an hour and a half with this show, which is usually when we wrap up. I'm okay. But I just wanted to see like where everybody was at.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if Zakaria got something he want to add, but I think I heard my wife beautiful footsteps, so I'm gonna go and ask her what make her body shake.
Y'all
got any other questions for me before I go?
No, but I definitely think there's more to talk about here. I don't think this should be our first time talking. I mean, our last time talking about this. Go ahead, Ray Ray.
Absolutely. I was just saying it's been a great talk. We got to have more of them.
No doubt. And for those who want to know, this is kind of this, and like I say, me and Cannon doing what we call the Black Church series. So we're gonna be getting into some Christian content, especially with regards to the history. We're gonna be debunking some of the claims people make. Like a lot of people say Christianity was forced on our ancestors. I need you to walk down to me how you force somebody to believe something. A lot of people talk about the white enslaver, but they'll never talk about the white abolitionists. We give these white enslavers a lot of credit, but we don't talk about them white folks that risked their life to help our ancestors escape. We call them enslavers Christians. The ones who enslaved our ancestors, we call them Christians, but the abolitionists that helped them escape, they say they was Christians. One of these people is perpetrating a fraud because they are diametrically opposed and they can't be believing in the same God. We're going to get down to the bottom of it though. But this kind of content that we did tonight on my sister's show, I'm going to be doing a lot of that. Y'all, I encourage y'all to come and join me. I'm going to be talking a lot about relationships, Black male accountability in particular. We're going to talk about my favorite subject, of course, sex. Yes.
I love the sex topic too. Like it don't be all vulgar and stuff, but I do enjoy discussing the dynamics of sex and like relationship value.
It don't have to be graphic. I did a presentation on Kunyaza that I'm gonna be revisiting. And for those who don't know, I'm not gonna get into it now, but it's a sacred sexual practice out of Africa, and it's where men prioritize the woman's pleasure. So we're gonna talk about that and a lot of other topics. That's where the content on this channel going. That's why the debates have their own channel now. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to Worldview Wars Debate League. And again, that Black Church series is gonna be examining a lot of different questions that we don't deal with in this community. We give the enslavers so much credit for being Christian, even though they cherry pick scriptures. I don't know how you cherry pick scriptures and still consider that Christianity, because if I cherry pick stuff out of the Quran, ain't nobody gonna say that's Islam. But Christianity is the only one we can play with like that. So we got a lot to talk about. How were the enslavers Christians and the abolitionists were Christians at the same time? It don't make sense. If Christianity was forced on our ancestors, why did they have to sneak and have the invisible institution in order to have church? You ain't got to sneak to do something that's mandatory. So we're going to get down to the bottom of it. Hey, Zakaria, I hope you
I was going to say, one other thing that you could add to that is also, if they were forcing it on our people, why did they give us a slave Bible with redacted chapters and books? You know what I'm saying?
And if it got redacted chapters and books, are they teaching us Christianity?
No.
If it ain't it.
That's all. And again, the way we going about this, everybody know I'm a Christian, but the way we going about this, you ain't got to be a Christian. You just got to be honest.
Just
so
be honest.
I ain't trying to convert you. I'm just trying to get you to be honest. So, but we gonna deal with it. And yeah, man, y'all come rock with us. We taking the content over here into a different direction, but we still got Worldview Wars Debate League, and we hope y'all join us over there. The Diabolical Divas is still here. We got Step Into the Light. She's gonna be doing her own thing outside of the Divas. It's gonna be like what's my man? He got the group, but he still was doing the solo stuff. It's like hella examples of that, and for some reason I can't think of it right now. But y'all know how it be when you had a group. Remember Michael Jackson for a while? He was still with the Jackson 5, but he was still Michael Jackson outside of the Jackson 5. We're gonna see if Light can pull off that same demo. I got faith in the sister. So shout out to my sister.
What's
Amira,
the direction of your show?
I know I talked a lot, my sister, so I apologize. I ain't mean to overshadow y'all show, but I appreciate you having me.
No, it was a pleasure to have you here on the show. Like it's always a pleasure. This is like stuff that I enjoy talking about for sure. Like I love talking about society, relationships, and how we're supposed to be in connection with each other out here in order to make life more digestible and easy. Like ease some of the burden of life on each other. And so I think that these are very pivotal conversations that need to take place. So it's definitely something that I'm happy to listen to and hear and participate in the conversation about. So no problem at all.
Yep, I'm looking forward to the new content. That's my kind of carrying on.
Yes, that's my kind of carrying on. Me and Zakaria, again, we're going to be getting into this whole temple series. So I think that it's going to be, I feel like me and some of the ladies, especially Sunday, we can get together and kind of talk about some of the things that we value as women, just from my perspective, and how we can kind of be in community with each other a little bit more tightly, because that's another thing that I've been having a little trouble with, is the community with the women. It'd be a little difficult. But yeah, like if nobody else has anything to say, we can go ahead and start wrapping up.
Nope, I enjoyed this show. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, for sure. So ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of this week's episode of This Week's Shit, where me and my friends, Sunday and Zakaria, get together and discuss the last 7 days of things that caught our attention in the world news and in all the other places. We have this week's topic this week with DMG, the infamous DMG. We were glad to find out about I'm going to have a hard time saying this, World View Wars. World View Wars. I'm gonna have to practice, y'all. I'm gonna have to say that slow. You say it so easily, DMG. But definitely, yes. I
get tongue tied every now and then.
Yeah, so we're gonna be looking forward to that, looking forward to the new content, looking forward to the direction of the platform. It was our pleasure to have you here in this new direction that we're gonna be going this week, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the content. Are the Divas still gonna be on Fridays and Sundays?
I believe so. Definitely on Sundays, and I do believe Fridays is still gonna be Divas After Dark. I'm actually talking to somebody about coming on with them this Friday. I should find out tomorrow. They checking their schedule. It'll be a very special guest if we can get that done. If not, they will commit to being on in the future. So either way, you will see them. Hopefully we get them this Friday.
Okay, perfect. So we'll be looking forward to seeing the Divas. That will be Sunday, and the rest of the ladies tapping in with us on Friday. And until next time, we'll be seeing you guys around. Peace.
That is. Peace, family.
I don't got no friends. You know what I mean? I got supporters, people on my side and people on the other side.
Welcome to the shift where the whole room blows. DMG vibes, got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. This you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yo, shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. This that channel that be talking back, energy attack. Iron sharpens iron, watch the whole league react. Competition in the building, better tighten up your facts. We ain't clones, but we still mirror how you crack under impact. Every debate will work hot, spot a weak, rep fast. You live wrong, paradigm shift, and break your stance. I'm the judge, the jury, the pen, the contrast. My bars hit always like a quadruple, buying title shift, where the whole room glow. DMG vibes, got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't all align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. We invite every mind, long as you stand on yours. Walking with respect, leave with open doors. Channel stay lit, views jumping off the boards. STL bounce, yeah, the spy from the source. Competitors, welcome, step up, don't fold. We don't fit pressure, we refine under load. Thoughts heavy, we press them till the truth gets told. Shift so clean, it feel platinum even when it's gold. Come through correct, bring your logic and your proof. Speak your truth, just don't run from the truth. We debate with grace, that's the paradigm groove. Flow so smooth, even turbulence move. Welcome to the shift, where the whole room go. DMG vibes, got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Where the whole glow. DMG vibe, like a city on low. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' know. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibes, got the city on go. Welcome to the shift. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. Welcome to the shift. If you black, I'm with you, with you, black, I'm with you. Welcome to the shift. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. Welcome to the shift. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibe, got the city on low. With paradigm shift, keep it real for.
Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason only. It's because if you black, I'm with you. And I hope that you with me.